everyone, how's it going? Happy 8 p.m. Yeah, hope you're doing well. I'm gonna wait for just a couple seconds for people to hop on, but today's conversation is going to be don't let people or yourself bring you down. Sometimes in our lives, we're doing our thing, and I don't know. Sometimes we could feel like life can bring us down, or people can bring us down, or we can bring ourselves down. And I guess today's conversation is to just keep pushing forward. Anytime that we have those challenges, just keep pushing forward. Isaac, Pedro, good to see you both on. Thanks for hopping on. Let's see, how am I doing today? Today, I'm doing pretty good. Thanks for asking. How are you doing, Isaac? And how are the rest of you doing? So, let's see. I will summarize briefly. Uh, I guess today in a nutshell. So, productive productivity wise, I would say it was a bit of a challenge for me. I didn't get as much as I want to done. There was definitely some like hesitation, resistance to just getting work done in general. Anyway, my my girl got a little bit upset that I didn't get work done today, which is okay. She apologized and stuff like that. But like, so I guess for myself, I was in a place where I was like, my old self would feel guilty that I didn't get work done, you know? But what I do know about myself is that I'm continuing to push myself every single day. And I understand that, whatever it is, I'm not perfect. I'm still working on building up that muscle to stay disciplined, to get work done. So part of it is like just giving myself the freedom and flexibility to just be better, and forgive myself if I'm not perfect. So yeah. So right now I'm in a space of just like you could just say like self improvement. Hold on one second. I'm checking I'm pulling up my stream on my desktop so I can see your comments here easier. All right. Let's see. Yeah, so I guess to summarize today's situation for myself, it was like I knew for myself that I was in a place today where I'm like, oh, come on, Richard. Like my old self would be like, oh, come on, Richard. Like here you go again. You're not being productive. You're in your little, unproductive, making excuses phase. And for myself, I know like there's no point in beating myself up. So if you ever feel like you're in a funk, where you're not being productive as much as you want to, or you're not studying as much as you should be, just know that it's okay. It's not about beating yourself up. I think, yes, should we push ourselves to study? Yes, I think we should always keep challenging ourselves. However, I don't think, beating ourselves up and being so hard on ourselves in that way, in that negative, kind of like the more negative, like you suck kind of way, that's not productive. It's about like acknowledging, okay, I wasn't being as productive as I would like to. Let's improve that. That's all. Like, let's be constructive. Let's move forward from it. So, that's really my message of today. It's just that short and simple. Again, I talked about yesterday how my goal today was to make like 41 calls. Yes, that was yesterday's goal. And then I didn't do it yesterday. So today, that was supposed to be my goal today. There was some hesitation. Sure, there's things I could improve. I could have most definitely improved upon. But that's okay. I'm not giving up. I'm not making excuses for the rest of my life. It's like I understand there's like there's like a little bit of hesitation or whatever mindset I have to personally overcome to get into the right mindset. But in the meantime, guess what? Like I'm gonna keep trying my best. I'm not giving up. That's all I gotta say. Okay, cool. Enough about me. I want to transition this to all of you here. So, right now for this live stream, it's a live stream, so we're live. You could ask questions and stuff like that. I'd love to hear what questions that you have to ask, because honestly, that's what makes these live streams. Like that's what makes them entertaining, meaningful, and impactful. So feel free to ask questions, because that's really where I believe the heart of the live stream is in the questions that you ask. Alrighty, so Isaac says he's doing pretty well. Awesome. Thanks for sharing that. Corrupt Nation says, great advice for a title. Don't let others bring you down. But most important of all, don't let ourselves bring us down. That's the one who hits the most man. And yep, keep pushing forward. Um, that's all we can do. Once we stop, life stops, man. I hear you. Nice. Thanks for the thanks for summarizing that, Corrupt Nation. I appreciate that. And yes, it's awesome that you understand that. And yes, so let's see if there's any like I'm trying to figure out if there's any like last like little thoughts here. I'm gonna speak. So I'm gonna speak to myself. You know, give advice to myself. Like this is Richard giving advice to Richard, and in the process of me giving advice to myself, I think there's maybe some things that you can pick up from. So if I were to give advice to myself, like what did I learn today? I would say, like if other people are putting you down, you know, even if they're not doing it intentionally, maybe they're doing it out of love or whatever it is. Maybe they're disappointed or whatever. Let's say you don't get a good grade and your parents or whoever gets disappointed, and that makes you feel bad. I think what's important to understand is it's not about feeling bad. So stop focusing on feeling bad and focus on, all right, what do I need to do to improve myself? So this is really interesting. I was hanging out with my girl earlier today, and she was going over some like basic economics, like economic principles and stuff like that. And she was just teaching me how to do it. And as she was doing it, like teaching me how to do economy or like economics, I noticed I'm like, dude, this stuff is so basic for me. Like I've done it before, but like mentally, I just remembered how slow my brain is when it comes to absorbing this kind of information. Like it reminded me when I was in school. It reminded me how like when a teacher teaches in front of the class, you know, the teacher's doing his or her best to teach their students. For me being a student, I don't get these things very quickly. So I started like spacing off, like not spacing out, but just like getting really distracted. Like I don't get it. Like I'm so confused. And then I remember in class, the teacher, guess what? A teacher has to teach a whole entire class. So the teacher just keeps its own pace and, you know, whatever, like, does anyone have any questions? And for me, I'm like, I don't even know what question to ask. Like my question would be, can you please repeat that whole thing again? Because I didn't understand any of it. I guess in a way I bring this up because like, I have a feeling that I'm not the only one who feels like that in class. You know, maybe you feel like that too, where when a teacher is talking and trying to lecture and you're trying to pay attention, sometimes it just doesn't make any sense. So like, what do we do? Yeah, so several thoughts came up in my mind. So first of all, for any of my friends here, if you have a hard time paying attention in class, and you know sometimes you don't understand concepts, whatever, math, science, history, English, like whatever subject it is, just know that your GPA, your grades don't define your success. You know, like I think what's going to help you is the effort you put into class, your perseverance, your work ethic. Like that stuff is going to help. But the actual like learning of knowledge and stuff like that, like school, yes, learning is a skill. Keep developing that. But just know, like, if you don't understand concept in school, it doesn't mean you're going to be a failure in life. That's all I want to say. Because when I was younger, I felt like if I didn't understand how to learn something, that means I'm a failure in this subject. That means I'm a failure at life. Like, I'm just going to suck at life. That's not true. What I learned today is, you know, I mean, we all get to choose our own paths. And I'm going to be real. A lot of, I would say a lot of jobs, in a way, require you to learn something, right? If you're going to work for someone, you have to learn how to do the job, right? And sometimes stuff like that, like, it's hard for some people, like myself. Like when I work for other people, I had a really hard time learning how to do, like how to become a salesperson, how to, you know, sort things in a certain way, how to make certain phone calls when I work for other people, how to manage clients when I worked at Sony Pictures, like all these different things. But what I realized is like, if you follow your own path and your own passion, you might take longer than other people, or you might be just naturally talented at something and it might be easy for you. But the point is like, your grades, your GPA, it's not good. It does not. It's not the 100% determinant of your success. So you can still be successful in your life, even if your grades aren't that great, or if you have a hard time learning. Like it's okay. Yeah. Do we want to learn better? Yes, absolutely. Keep pushing yourself. Keep being better. Uh, but don't be afraid if you are a slow learner, whatever it is. Okay. Yeah, that's what I gotta say. It's like, you know, I struggled even when my girl was teaching me economics. Like, I had a hard time understanding it, but guess what? It's like there's other ways to be successful besides just one way. Okay, hopefully that's supportive. Jared, good to see you on. Wolfie, good to see you on. Mackenzie, let's see. Is it all right if I start asking questions again? Yeah, go for it. You have great, awesome questions. Please go for it. Let's see. Isaac says, "Is field hockey a sport?" Yeah, of course, field hockey is a sport. Yeah, why would it not be a sport? I think um, a better question that I mean, I already know the answer to. So people always ask like, is cheerleading a sport? You know, and based, I remember several years ago they made like the state of California made a ruling that cheerleading is a sport now. So yeah, I mean, and then we can go into things like is our video games like is esports really sports? Is table tennis a sport? Sorry, random off topic. Yeah. Raphael, good to see you on, brother. Welcome to the house. Brazil is in the house. That's amazing. Luke, hey, good to see you on. Thanks for hopping on, just like you said you would yesterday. Question: do you have any strategies that you can use to strive for consistency with the habits that you want to shape you? Let me know if it doesn't make sense. Okay, so what I'm hearing, Luke, what I'm hearing you say is that strategies to create consistency with habits. Uh, ooh. What strategies are there to create habits? Strategies to create habits. Honestly, I mean, this is gonna sound really simple, but like, I feel like the best strategy to create habits is you just do it. Like, that's it. It's stop making excuses and just do it. Now, I'm gonna give like a little disclaimer because I feel like I need to be real. I myself, I have some good habits. I have some bad habits. I'm just being real. You know, am I a perfect role model for habits? I don't think so. Am I trying to improve myself? Absolutely. You know, so I know if you want to build habits, if you want to build consistency, it's just about doing it. So I will tell you one habit that I had, which is like, let's talk about exercise, working out. So historically in my life, I've never been really consistent with working out. And I would say, I think beginning of November, I made a commitment with one of my friends slash coaching clients. He's just like, hey, like, dude, I'm like, what's one thing that you can improve your life? Like, what's one thing you can do to improve your life? He said, exercise. I'm like, great. When are you going to exercise? And he's like, And as he was thinking, I'm like, you know what? I need to exercise myself too. And then I said, I asked him, hey, how often do you want to exercise? He's like, I don't know, like maybe every day or something. I'm like, okay. I've never exercised every single day of my life, but I asked him, I said, hey, would you be open to be accountability partners? And would you be open to both of us committing to exercising every single day from November, it was like November 6th all the way to New Year's, December 31st. And he's like, yeah, sure, let's do it. And I mean, I trusted him. And then, so his job was to exercise every single day for him. And then my job was to exercise every single day for myself. And every single day we would kind of report in saying like, hey, I did my workout for the day, you know? So if you want to learn how to do, build consistency, number one is action, just do it. Number two, I would say is to create a certain goal. I don't know, for me, like I do like shorter term goals, like challenges. Like, so exercising every single day for 2 months, what that did for me is it gave me a time-based goal for me to like work towards. So once I hit working out every single day for 2 months straight, obviously at that point it became a habit. So even after the 2 months, I was still exercising regularly. Actually, I decided working out 7 days a week for me was a little bit too much. Like, I didn't want to do that much. So what I did was I modified from 7 days to 4 days but the 4 days were longer workouts. So yeah, that's what I did. And guess what? When it comes to building up consistency with habits, it's just about doing it. It's about disciplining yourself. It's about pushing yourself. Guess what? You know, for the past couple weeks, my working out has not been as consistent as it was before. You know, so that's just one of those things that you got to keep working at. And over time, the more you do it, the more consistent you get. That's all I got to say. Cool. What? Let's see. Mackenzie says, "What challenging thing are you working through these days?" Great question. So I'm going to say the challenging thing that I'm working through right now is it's kind of like I want to say resilience. It's that willingness to do things, the willingness to do the right thing when especially when I don't feel like doing it. So you know, making phone calls is a great example. Like I'm not a big fan of sales, you know, like I'm passionate about what I do. I love speaking. You know, I love doing what I do, but making phone calls for me, I'm not super passionate about. Because like, I don't know, it's just something I don't like doing. However, guess what? Part of running a business is you got to sell. If you don't sell, then no one's going to know about what you're offering. So, going back to what's a challenging thing that I'm working on right now is building up my resilience to do things that I should be doing and I get to do, especially when I don't feel like doing it. So tomorrow's a new day, and tomorrow is a new day for me to challenge myself again. And another part of resilience is like, you know, sometimes when we're not getting the results that we want, it's easy for us to beat ourselves up. So part of resilience is, it's like, if you're not getting the results and you feel like beating yourself up, it's like, okay, stop beating yourself up, keep moving forward. You know, don't give up. Keep pushing, keep pushing, keep pushing. So, yeah, those two things for me. Number one is doing things that is the right thing to do that I might not feel like doing. And number two is when I feel like giving up, to shift my mindset and keep moving forward. I'd say those are the two things I'm working on right now. Keely says, statistics is a struggle for me. Hardest subject in college, disliking it. Ooh, I failed. I didn't do well in statistics myself. I repeated the class like 3 or 4 times. So, but everything turned out okay. I'm not saying that you should fail statistics. I'm just saying that I could empathize with you. Jacinta, good to see you on. Jacinta says, hi, Richard. I just resigned my job because I feel like I'm being victimized at work and made to deal with unfair workload. Is my decision right or wrong? So, Jacinta, I would need more information to figure out if that is right or wrong. And also, first thing I want to mention off the top of my head is like, whether it's right or wrong, that's not up for me to say. That's up to you. It's up to you to determine if that was a right or wrong decision. Okay, so, and that applies to anyone else. Like, you don't need anyone else's opinion on what's right or wrong. Like, you, trust your heart, trust your gut, and your heart will tell you if you've made the right decision or not. And I mean, something tells me if you made a decision to resign from your job, it probably means that it was the right decision. That's my guess, because otherwise you wouldn't have taken action. Yeah. All right. Yeah, but I mean, I guess what I would say is partial congratulations. I don't know the full situation, but partial congratulations. It sounds like you stepped up and you value yourself enough to do what you think is right, which is awesome. It's hard to resign from a job, so good for you if that's the right path. Again, I don't know all the details of it, but yeah. But you know, when one door closes, that means another door opens, and I'm looking forward to hearing more of like what's next for Jacinta in your future. All right. Wolfie says, what were some of the turning points in your life? Turning points in my life. Turning points in my life. I'm gonna say the biggest turning point in my life that I could think of is when I quit my corporate job. So again, I was working, you know, at Sony Pictures and NBC Universal, just a corporate job that I wasn't passionate about. And when I made the decision to not go back to that, like just go back to a job for financial stability and to pursue my passion, I would say that's the biggest turning point. From there, I started working a lot with personal development, meaning growing myself internally, becoming a better person from the inside out. And I would say that's really what made a huge difference. And, changing that mindset personally. So that's what helped me lose a bunch of weight, get just mentally stronger. And yeah, so I would say that's a big turning point there. Let's see, other turning points. I would say, I mean, this is more like long-term turning point, or like, a lot of small turning points. But I would say these past 4 years of becoming, just quitting my job, becoming a speaker, and this whole journey that I'm on right now, there's there's been so many little opportunities for me to grow and develop myself. So that's really helped me. And life is a constant journey. We're constantly growing and developing ourselves. So yeah, I've had a lot of times to reinvent myself these past few years. All right. What mistakes do you keep making again and again? Man, these are such good questions. Okay, so what mistakes do I keep on making again and again? I want to say it's me. The mistake that I keep making again and again is I want to say the part of me that is holding on to my old story. So I talk a lot about stories and how, we all have stories. We either have stories like empowering stories, stories that move us forward in our lives, and then we have stories that are from our history. The ones that we keep repeating about, like, whatever, I'm not good enough, I can't do it, I'm not capable, I'm not worthy, all those stories. And as much as I, aim to forward my story, I think there's a part of me that, whatever, consciously or subconsciously, I still hold on to some old stories. And I would say that's a mistake that I make over and over. So one thing I got to improve on is just letting go of my old stories, letting go of, okay, you know what, this is not who I am anymore. I'm no longer the, whatever it is, the not capable, not confident Richard. I am now who I choose to be. So I choose to be confident. I choose to be capable. I choose to be powerful. So yeah, that's what I have to say. Mackenzie Wolfie, like, that's, where are these questions coming from? Like, I'm curious, like, are you coming up with these questions, or is this like a sheet? Because these are like some of the best questions I've heard, like, consistently really, really powerful questions that really get me thinking. So I'm genuinely curious. That's I'd be surprised if these are legit questions that you think of, because that's you have to have a pretty special mind to keep coming up with these questions. Okay, Neko Nerd says, but if, for example, what you just said, I get bad grades and everyone's disappointed, and then I find ways to improve myself, does that mean that I have to deny that I had bad grades? No. If you had bad grades, look, we can't change our past, and I think what's more valuable in life is, okay, so, okay, I'll talk. What's more valuable in life is to stop looking at your past, but focus on where you want to go. Because so let's see here. I'm trying to think of a good analogy. The main message is like, okay, let's say you want to become rich, okay? Let's say you want to be a millionaire, but here's the scenario. You want to make money, you want to be a millionaire. The problem is, your goal is, like, let's say you're looking at your past. Hold on. Let me think about this. Okay, yeah, let's say you want to be a millionaire, but you're looking at your past. You're looking at how broke you've been your whole entire life, how you don't make money, and if you keep focusing on the problem, then guess what? You're never going to be that millionaire. You're going to just solve this one problem, but the problem is going to keep, like, coming back, because you're playing. Your mind is here. You want to increase your mind to focus forward. So let me just go straight towards the grades. So if you want to improve your grades, you want to focus on getting good grades, not focusing on like your history, your past about bad grades. Yeah. That didn't completely make sense to me. I hope that made a little bit of sense to you. Let's see here. Yeah, but you don't have to anyway. You don't have to deny that you have bad grades. Whatever happens in the past happens in the past. Just focus forward and keep working hard to get better grades. That's all. All right. Wolfie says, when people look at you, what do you think they see? Think. Are these real questions? Wait, are these really questions? Hold on. Wow. Mackenzie, like your questions are ridiculous. Like they're really good. Like they're so thought provoking. Let's see. Oh no. So I'm pausing. Like I'm just in awe. Like my question to you, like if you could please answer this, I would really love to know. Are these questions that you are actually coming up with, or like did you like read these questions from somewhere else? Because these are like these questions are ridiculous. They're amazing. Like even if I googled good questions to ask, I don't feel like I would find questions like this. Like it's amazing. Okay, but yeah, I love the questions and they get me to think, and I think they're very insightful for all of us here. Uh, some are questions I ask myself. Nice, awesome. When people look at you, what do you think they see? Think. When people, okay, that's interesting. So when people look at me, what do I think they see and think? This is a really good question for me to think about because how I'm we all have a bias. So how I okay, I now need to step outside like as a third person perspective. So I'll tell you why this question is really interesting to me in a second. But first I'll answer your question. So what I think people see about me is I think most people see me as a confident person. They see me someone as whatever they like. I have my life together in a way. That I'm successful. What else? They think that whatever I'm a nice guy. I'm you know I help people, stuff like that. Okay. To me, that's a really interesting question because like I don't see myself in the same way that other people see me. And I think in a way I put myself down a lot more than how other people see me. So that was just one really interesting thing to notice. All right. Hi people. Hello everyone. I just want to say that I see you, and I am reading all the questions in order. I see a ton of questions, but I'm just gonna look at them in order. Okay, so feel free to write your questions down, and we will get to them. But let me see here. Mackenzie says, but some I get help from, like parents, they ask me, or teachers in general. But yeah, I develop over time better questions and create them in a higher level, turning something such as a simple question into more, say, larger vocabulary, or just in general putting in more thought. Awesome. Thanks for that. All right, I'm gonna get back to these questions back in order. Can you like, I want to like copy and paste these questions. Like they're really good thought questions. Hold on. Don't mind me. I'm just gonna go off to the side, copy and paste some stuff, you know. Okay. Isaac says, I have a 0.83 and my science teacher hated me. And when he would check our grades, he would tell me I wouldn't graduate, and he told me I wouldn't be anything in life in front of the whole class. Let's see. I was really mad and wanted to curse at him and do other things to him that wouldn't be all right. This was in 8th grade. 8th grade. Sonnet was last year? It was last year. Got it. Yeah. Well, like for me, long story, like I think it's important to remember to not take anything personally. So if someone says, says something bad about us, there's nothing is ever personal. So if someone says something bad, don't worry about it. Don't put energy to it, and just keep moving forward with your life, and focus on you. Focus on you becoming a better person. And I don't know, just ignore the haters because it's not personal. That's it. Yeah. We can go into deeper conversation about that and it is a conversation that we've had. Alrighty, Game Master, good to see you on. Alrighty, let's see. Neko Nerdo says, but in order to change yourself, I mean, from your bad grades scenario, you kind of have to forget about it, right? Forget about the bad grades. I don't think you need to forget about bad grades. I think it's just about not focusing on it. When I say not focusing on it, it's more about focusing on where do you want to go. Like, let's say if you want to get straight A's, focus on getting the straight A's. Don't focus on trying to avoid getting bad grades. Okay? Because if you keep focusing on the negative, you're not going to get to the positive. You want to focus on the positive. Yeah. Wolfie says, what do you regret not doing or starting when you're younger? Regret not doing or starting when I was younger. If anything, I'm going to say building more positive habits. So that's all I'll say. What's the best thing about you? I'm just gonna go with like that I'm caring, generally caring, and I have a heart. That's what I have to say. What's one responsibility you really wish you didn't have? That's a trick question, because if there's a responsibility I wish I didn't have, then I would no longer be responsible for that one thing. Which, anyway, I think I'm good. Like there's nothing that I don't really need. I mean, off the top of my head, I wish I didn't have to make money. You know, because I don't want to spend my life focusing on money. I think that's besides the point of life. You know, life to me feels like it's a lot more about contribution and just enjoying it. But part of it is making money. So anyway, that's part of reality. So there we go. What are the top 3 things that you want to accomplish before you die? How close are you accomplishing them? Top three things that I want to accomplish before I die. Goodness. I feel like stuff like this is changing. Like it's always evolving and changing. I'm gonna go with before I die. Oh man, okay. These aren't perfect. These are just off the top of my head. Before I die, I want to speak to at least 2 million people, like live. I want to buy a house, and let's see. Other thing I want to do before I die. I guess you can just say like travel the world. So those are the 3 off the top of my head right now, and they're always changing. So yeah. How close am I to accomplishing that? Well, when we talk about traveling the world, I've just started. So I've been to only a couple countries. Buying a house, I'm far from that. I'm on track. You know, just we'll see. It's like it's all mindset. Like once you get into the right mindset and you take action, then you can do it. Speak to 2 million people. I think that's going to take some time. I think that's like a 15, 20 year, 15. How long is that going to take? You know what? That could probably 10 years, maybe 10 years or so. Just depending on how many people. Anyway, that's just like those are such rough numbers. It's not about numbers. It's not about how many people. It's about like the depth of the impact. So that's what I gotta say. Alrighty, No Face, good to see you on. Isaac says, oh, I read that. All right, Wolfie says, what are the top 3 things you want to? Oh, nope. Just ask that. Tyrone Jones, good to see you on. Wolfie says, in your group of friends, what role do you play among your friends or family? What are you famous for? So, I have a lot of different groups of friends. If anything, I would say the role that I play is I am kind of the listener. You know, I listen to people, and another role that I play with peers, friends, is giving constructive feedback. I think I'm known as, even though I'm a nice person, I could also be very critical / possibly hard to please. Like if someone wants, like, they show me something like, hey, look at this, you know, and like, can you give me feedback? Like I like to be very brutally honest, and again, I'm hard to please in a way. Like I'm very critical when I give feedback. So there we go. But it helps. It's constructive. People get away. You know, they learn how to improve. Yeah. Okay. I just realized I have a presentation first thing tomorrow morning. Language arts. Good things. Good thing you're a good presenter, even if it's just live stream. I'm partially building up my confidence for it. Awesome. And good luck with your presentation tomorrow. Prepare well and get it done. Let's see. Keely says off topic, but recently I asked a friend to hang out since it's been a while. We haven't seen each other, but he wants to invite his other friends along, and I'm not liking it. Like last time it turned out horrible. When I want to hang out with someone, I just want it to be between me and the other person. I don't know if you're asking for advice or you're just sharing. If you're asking for advice, at least what I would do in that situation is, if you don't want the other person to hang out, just mention it. You know, like just be straightforward. Hey, you know, I'd just like to hang out with you. Yeah, that's it. I know it's kind of an awkward conversation, but if you don't want to hang out with the other person, just be straightforward about it. You know, sometimes it's tough, but it's up to you. Do you care enough? Do you care enough to just hang out with that person or whatever? It's up to you. Do you want to? Is it worth having that conversation with the person? Okay. Necronerd says it's his decision though. Did you tell him about this? Okay, Wolfie says, what do you most often look down on people for? What do you think other people look down on you for? Wow. Okay. So if I were to look down on people for something, what do I look down on people for? That's a tricky question. Look down on people? I feel like it depends. It depends who. I think sometimes it's, yeah. Let's see. Look down on people for. That's a tricky question right there. And then what do other people look down on you for? I'm gonna pass on that one. Like it's like the goal is to not look down on anyone, and you know, and if other people look down on me, it's okay. You know, like it's yeah. I'll leave it at that. Okay, let's see. Cool. Alrighty, Jayco, good to see you on, brother. Wolfie says, that's one thing Avid does to you. I'm asked so much from that class, but it's really gets you to think. We have to write questions every Tuesday and Thursday for classes, but had on other days we are supposed to. Yeah, that's awesome. So for anyone who's an Avid, or has been in Avid, they teach you how to write questions, but it sounds to me that your teacher specifically, especially, does a really good job teaching how to ask questions, because seriously, your questions are phenomenal. Like they're better questions than adults ask. Like they're amazing. No face, thanks. Wolfie says, "All right, be back. I got a shower. I'll be fast. I love watching and listening to your stories and advice. Thank you very much." All right, cool. We're caught up with comments. Good stuff. How y'all doing? I hope you're all doing well. Not falling asleep. If you're falling asleep, that's okay. It's getting somewhat late. Let's see here. What do I want to go with here? Yeah. That's what I got. So now that we're caught up with questions and comments, by the way, if you have any questions or comments, feel free to just drop them in and ask more. I'm going to go with... So usually what I do is at the beginning, I'll talk about the topic of the day, which is today it's don't let others or yourself bring yourself down. And then I'll ask questions, and then I'll summarize with the topic again. So now that we're caught up with questions, I'm going to go ahead and summarize the conversation of today, or like whatever thoughts, and I'll answer whatever questions that you might have left before we go. But we're going to start to wrap up because it's becoming that time of the evening. So question of the day is, or conversation of today was, don't let others or yourself bring you down. I think what this means to me is that sometimes we put ourselves down. Sometimes we beat ourselves up when we're not being productive, when we're not studying, and we feel bad. and we feel guilty, and we feel like, oh my goodness, like, I'm not up to par. I'm not keeping up with my work. And when that happens, we beat ourselves up, and then we become less productive. And then we go into our story of how not capable we are, or not smart, or not disciplined that we are, or how lazy we are. And I think for us, like, what's really important is to get out of this mindset, is to stop focusing on the stories, stop focusing on, oh man, I'm so lazy, I can't do it, I don't have motivation. Stop focusing on those stories and focus on just taking action, and focus on pushing yourself even when you don't feel like doing it. Yeah, that's what I gotta say. And I get it. It's not easy. It's not easy to push yourself to do things when you don't feel like doing it. The good news is, I gotta tell you this: you're capable. You are fully capable of doing it. You're fully capable of pushing yourself. You're fully capable of staying disciplined. You're fully capable of finding motivation. Everything, being disciplined, just doing it. It's just what's getting in the way is the story that you're telling yourself. So if you're feeling unproductive, but you know you want to be productive and you want to do better in school or whatever work that you have, just know that the only thing that's getting in the way is yourself and the stories that you tell yourself. So keep working on it. Don't beat yourself up. Keep moving forward, and you'll get better. Okay? That's all I got for tonight. Thanks for hopping on, peoples. I appreciate the great conversations that we had, and thanks for all the incredible questions and engagement for today. Let's see. Yeah, if you have any other like thoughts or questions, just hit us up on our Discord channel. You could ask questions there, or I mean, we're on here every single day. So what's today? Today is Tuesday. Yeah, we'll be on tomorrow. So if you have any questions, you could message us tomorrow. Where'd it go? Yeah, you can message us tomorrow, or just join our Discord channel and we could chat there. Okay. Thanks for thanks Reaper for I don't know if Reaper's on YouTube right now. If you're watching this right now, but hilarious. I just saw your notification. Let's see. Okay, I want to read. Sometimes you don't realize you're doing it until it's over. Good stuff. Oh, Mackenzie, welcome back. Thanks. We're just about signing off right now, but thank you for your awesome questions. Totally appreciate your questions. They're amazing. And I'll be honest, I want to learn from you. Like, how do you ask those kind of questions? Like, what's the structure? How do you ask those powerful questions? Because I think that's going to help me. So if you don't mind, Mackenzie, like, next time I would love if you can kind of share, like, what has Avid taught you, and kind of whatever. I feel like you're the expert question asker. So yeah, I think that's going to make you really successful with your life, asking good questions. Okay, because the best, what do they say? The best, they say the best speakers are the best listeners. The people. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Like, it's all about listening and understanding what people care about, and I think you do a great job with that. So thank you. All right, people, thank you very much. I'll be on tomorrow at 8 p.m. again. So if you're on tomorrow, I'll see you then. If not, see you on Discord, or see you on not Thursday but Friday, because Thursday I'll be gone. Okay, take care, everyone. See you tomorrow. Bye bye.